Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Before the Hype. As always, we're bringing you fashion and culture. This is Before the Noise.
And before the trends.
And before the hype.
It's your house resident queen.
House resident? Like house
Number one house resident. Guys, house resident number one is your girl Queen.
Another house resident. Apparently I'm paying rent here now, I don't know. But yeah, literally, it's your boy Dammy.
And it's house resident number 3 or guest. I don't know. Maybe like it's just me. It's Ricky B.
It's Ricky B,
It's Ricky
baby.
fucking
Ricky
B.
B.
House resident.
Yeah, number 3.
That's it.
Well, today, guys, we are talking fast fashion and the impact that is having on styling and budget. No. All right, guys. So today we're talking fast fashion. Where
Fast
the
fashion?
fuck did that accent come from?
Fast fashion?
I'm
Nah,
so
that's
sorry. Today, guys, we're talking fast fashion and the impact that styling is having on the budget. Did I still say it right?
Yes.
What? I'm saying.
Listen,
I'm
Okay, guys. Today we're talking about fast fashion. Period.
That's it. That's it.
Period. Today we're talking about fast fashion, guys, and
What?
yeah.
Yeah.
creative
Yeah,
directors.
fast fashion on a budget.
I don't know
What?
what's going on.
We're talking fast fashion on a budget, and we're also throwing up.
Boy,
Why?
did you
I was gonna say.
I think everyone's been
gonna say
drinking or something. I
but
don't know
before
what's
it up,
going
bro.
Guys,
on.
this is a moment of something on this.
What?
bloopers.
We
These are
are
the
so
bloopers.
prepared.
This is the bloopers because
I want
what
us
the
so
hell?
proud. You hit that line, and then we can just.
Okay, let me do it.
God. Ooh.
Woo, guys! Today on this hot episode, we are talking fast fashion and the impact it has on styling on a budget.
Yes, and also a couple weeks ago, Mugler did a massive team up with high street brand H&M, and it has
Ooh.
everyone chatting, everyone scrambling, and everyone doing Mugler.
Mugler.
And I thought we could get a little creative, okay, and come up with our dream high street and expensive luxe collaboration of fashion brands and marry them together.
Okay, so let's get into it. So if you could have 2 brands, one luxury, one high street. Remember, one luxury and high street, don't forget that, yeah?
There's only 2, Dabby. Like,
Alright, no, you'll be forgetting sometimes and shit.
don't forget.
So,
Alright, cool.
which would you pick and why would you pick it?
Oh,
Okay.
this is interesting. I feel
Let's
like-
go.
I don't
Should
know.
I? Do you know what?
You want to kick it off?
You
Do
wanna
I'll
go
kick
first.
it off.
Kick it
You
off.
know what I'm saying? Set the tone, innit?
Go on.
So, if I was to put 2.
Only 2.
Yeah, do you get it?
High
Yeah,
street.
mind it.
Come on.
No, is it? Alright, cool. So, I'd put Uniqlo
Ooh, okay.
and I'll put Gallery Department together.
Oh, okay.
Wait, would that count as high
I was gonna
luxury though?
wait.
That's the only thing.
Gallery department. I feel like it's
It's there.
yeah.
The
it's-
prices are luxury. Let's say that the prices
Yeah.
are luxury. So I'll put those 2 things together because Uniqlo with the collaborations they've done in the past, I've seen that they've like to work with different types of designers, like ones that are really unique and bring something different to the table. One of them that they did recently was with Keith Haring. They also did one with like all the anime houses. So the Japanese studios, so they've got like a whole bunch of collaborations with them. So with Gallery Department, because they're so unique in terms of everything screen printed and literally all made within the same, I'll say, studio.
Okay, yeah, within the same type of.
And
location.
obviously they've got, and obviously they work within like, I'll say workwear, almost workwear, and they've got like an art to it. And Uniqlo also like to bring that blend as well with like what they do, especially with their like gilets, jackets, their carpenter pants, all that type of stuff. So I think like those 2 bands would just meet well and marry together well.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I
And it'll
agree
just
with
bring, and what I also like about it is that it'll bring a lot of people to Gallery Department at a price point that's affordable for a lot of people.
that. Yeah, I feel like a lot of
because-
people love the brand, but they can't have access to it.
Do you
'cause
get
of
what
the
I'm
money.
saying?
Yeah, that's true.
And obviously, I like the brand. I want more people to wear it. And that's one way to get more people to wear it. It's by marrying those 2 things together. Simple.
Started off with a bang.
Yeah,
Let's
I was gonna
go.
say, I
Started
mean,
off with a bang.
that is like, it's the key to those fast fashion collaborations, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because it is
Yeah.
that bringing that expensive brand that we can't touch, we can't reach.
Mm.
So that'd be a sick kind of collab.
Yeah.
I've got a good idea.
Go on, hit
Oh, well,
me.
I said good. I've already decided.
You
I've
decided.
already decided for myself, actually, this one.
Let's go.
I just want it. Dior and Zara
Yeah.
have a child.
That's
Zara. Zara.
No, I can see that happening 100%.
Guys, the tailoring from Dior. I mean, Dior is like a couture house. It's all about tailoring from the start. I think bringing that with Zara's tailoring, because I mean, Zara rips off Dior all the time. No offense to Zara, but like
Yeah.
they do. And if they actually get a really good collaboration going, they can bring that sharp, clean tailoring, new cuts,
Yeah.
new silhouettes to the high street market, which also then means men's tailoring does upscale as well. I think women's tailoring is really hot right now, but men's tailoring, they're like scared to really like push it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having those two together, having, I think, Maria Grazia True with, you know, when she took over Dior, she really brought this new feminism argument, like was using like old feminist like painters, collaborating with them, like getting them to like where she'd have the show like do up all the walls with massive paintings of like these feminist icons. So I think having that with Zara would just be really sick, like bring that kind of message to the masses. I would love it. Do I think it'll be a high price point like a Mugler? Like you might get things that are like bare minimum £100 like a t-shirt, possibly. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. That's the thing. I feel like even with my collab, it's not necessarily like on Dami's wavelength where I think it'd be affordable, just because I feel like it's already kind of... So basically,
Who's it gonna be?
I want to do Menier Devoir and Prada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
I can
reason
see the vision.
and the reason why I say Prada is because a lot of their clothes kind of give me utility vibe, like not utility like complete with the whole like buckles and you know carpenter pants and stuff, but when they're making stuff, they're quite structured. They got the tiny little Prada in the like they're very
little triangle.
discreet.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
Menier Devoir kind of give me that vibe as well. As much as they're trying to, do you know what? Menier Devoir very much appears luxury. If you get what I'm trying to say, especially the way people wear their pieces and stuff like that. Yeah, they've got a higher price point in comparison to places like H&M and stuff like that. And I want to say, is it based on quality? I don't know. But seeing Prada and Menier Devoir together, I don't know. I can kind of see that working. I just feel like, yeah.
MDV recently, like, they literally redone their logo, so it
Menier
almost
Devoir,
looks
yeah.
like the Eiffel Tower now.
Yeah, it does. And I like that logo, if I'm honest.
So,
it's giving them more of a luxury
imagine that,
appearance.
The logo, and then you just see like the red strip of the Prada
Prada,
going for the middle.
ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, they need to hire Dami
Yeah,
on this
I got
director.
vision, baby. I got a vision, baby.
Director on this collab. But yeah, that was something I'd love to see. And I love Prada. I really do.
I think, do you know, I think the price point though wouldn't even be
too crazy.
because Carhartt and Marni did a collab, and obviously Marni did a collab with Uniqlo twice over now. It's
Yeah.
been really successful. Like their shorts are like, mwah. And reselling, they're reselling for more on
Well,
like
no.
Vinted and stuff than what they were
Originally.
which I think
feel
is a
like-
real testament.
And I feel like that's
Yeah.
not every piece. Like not all collabs have that kind of thing, but I find that a lot of good collabs end up having that residual,
Yeah.
like they're being sold on for more. Do you know what I mean? After, even when you think about like, for example, going back to Cortez, yeah, sponsor us. But going back to Cortez, just even though their pieces are not like limited edition most of the time, people will buy it today and then go resell it for double the same day.
There's
you know,
longevity.
like there's longevity, and then people still looking for pieces that came out last year, and you know, so depending on the collaboration and how it fits, and just even the brand itself, I feel like they will end up having that long term stamp.
So we're saying that all our collabs will have that stamp of longevity.
10 out of
It's gonna be
10,
around
10 out of
forever.
10.
Exactly.
I think we
like
did
that.
good. I think
Yeah,
we did good on that.
Good
Doesn't it?
choices.
Yeah,
Come on,
we did
guys.
good. We
Like,
did
what?
good.
Proud of us.
Proud of us. Okay.
So this is part of the show where we have some of the biggest convos happening in and around fashion, and one that's been up for debate for a while. Drum roll, please. Please, I need that. Thank you. Fast fashion.
Oh gosh.
This is your creative director's nightmare.
Nightmare. Some people
Nightmare.
love it and others hate it. So we wanted to get into exactly why fast fashion is so indecisive or decisive, and what impact it's having on the industry.
Okay. Can I start? Guys,
Oh,
I've got
yeah,
I've got a
shit.
hot
I
take.
said it so
I was-
blunt. I was
You
like,
said it so
I'm
good.
so sorry.
No, because you said that so good. But also, can I? This is
Yeah,
this
whoa.
is something that I have so many views on.
Okay,
It's
hit me.
rude.
Okay,
All right,
cool,
Ricardo.
cool.
Start us
cool.
off.
And
Go on.
also, recently I was seeing the conversation light up again on TikTok around fast fashion because let me just put this out there. I love the concept of fast fashion, and I, for this just moment, want to take it out of the environmental impact just for a second.
Okay, go on.
Because I think if you start with that, you kill your conversation immediately. So, for me, fast fashion, what it is, why it was created, was a way of making clothing accessible for everyone around the world. There is places in the world that did not have clothing. You could not have just clothing to keep your body dry, keep you warm. So fast fashion made that possible on a global, worldwide scale where it was cheap enough for everyone to have it. So the accessibility, I love the idea of fast fashion.
Yeah.
And also the chance for everyone to have that individualistic
Style,
approach
yeah, so-
made it possible finally, because if you saw other people wearing stuff or celebrities, you knew that you could get the same silhouette or shape or structure or cut or seam, roughly the similar to that on a cheaper level that everyone else could get. So for me, I love the concept of fast fashion.
Yeah, definitely.
I just think fast fashion as itself ran too fast, and I think we overfasted it. We double
fasted it. That is
new
the
words
word.
are getting added to this dictionary.
Ding, 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 ding.
Overfasted.
Overfasted
Alright,
fast fashion.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
ran so far. I think we could have had it for 30 years.
You think?
Yeah, and instead I think we've killed it off in 10 years.
No, I understand that. I feel I do agree with you in terms of the idea of fast fashion, even allowing people to become individuals. That part for me was a big thing. I think, especially when you said when I was younger, kind of just looking at celebrities you look up to and wanting to own certain pieces, especially when I was younger, knowing you just couldn't, and then it being kind of transpired into your fashion in front of you. You can now reach it through the internet. You can now reach it at a certain price that's not killing the bank. It was a game changer, especially for people, I want to say, even with a lack of confidence. Fast fashion has really allowed people to feel like they have a sense of style. And I don't know, in some ways, it's also opened a lot of doors for people who can't afford or wouldn't even look to pay certain prices for some of the brands that we love. Some of these luxury brands. And I think only now that we are expanding and understanding that, hey, maybe paying more might give us a better product. But before, that mentality wasn't kind of there. It was more just, I want this piece and I don't really want to have to break my bank to get it. So, fast fashion kind of filled that void. But like you said, we've done a bit too much.
We've overfasted.
We've overfasted, guys. And
Yeah, just to touch upon
Losing
that,
it.
obviously I definitely agree with everything that you both have said about how it's made it more inclusive for people to be able to express themselves with clothing items they might have seen on the runway. Even for example, the big red boots, Ego Official.
oh my gosh, I heard
Or-
that.
Ego Official, I'm thinking the Instagram name, my God. Ego.
Ego,
Ego?
Ego.
Whatever
As
it's
a
called.
boy, that is,
Listen,
guys.
I don't
tell him.
shop there, so I don't
Ego.
know, innit, you get me? But they've literally made it available to have the big red boots in different colorways as well.
They got a Yeezy they were like the
Do you get what I'm
first. They had the
saying?
Yeezy slides,
And
every color.
I feel like people that have
Crazy.
grown up in a more, I'll say the Western world, have obviously been showing certain luxuries. So if you have a fake designer or let's say even the Yeezy that's obviously a prototype or whatever, in an underdeveloped country, that's something that's priceless for them. Do you get what I'm saying? But here's where the voice of reason now comes in. Yeah.
Go on.
Everyone listen now, yeah?
listening.
Alright, cool.
Here we go.
So, even though, it makes it available for other people to be able to then have those things, but I also feel like it should be gatekeeps for the people that are actually designing it and the people that are the brains behind all these things. Because a lot of these fast fashion sites, like Shein and places like that, they basically take someone else's design, make a profit off of it, and then don't actually give any of it to the person that's designed it. And then that then takes away from the person's work, and it's like it.
The credits.
Yeah, not just the quit, but it takes away from the work. Like, it just makes it not look as good anymore because it's just everywhere now. Everyone else has got like the fake version of it, so it takes away from your creativity. So you have to go more into your bag to do it, and then you're now scared to go into it, thinking, okay, cool, they're gonna copy it again, and then I have to now come up with something else and da da da. So that's the only main problem I see with fast fashion, outside of obviously the environmental like problems with it as well. But in terms of the person behind the creative direction for their clothing brand and having it copied, it's a no go. We need to we need to gatekeep that for sure.
I think let's touch on that more, because I think that like that's what I mean by, I think when I say that there's so much to fast fashion, just the talking about it, there's so much. And I think let's touch on that independent designers getting not just ripped off, rinsed from it, because as soon as like they have put months into developing this, like, let's just say this pattern, just for ease of conversation's sake.
Yeah.
And then, you know, a company comes along and just takes that pattern, roughly changes it a tiny bit. I mean, it's fractional, like how much, right? They rip it off. No customers are going to that designer anymore because you can get the piece nearly the same, cheaper, because, and it'll be less quality, but it'll come quicker, first of all. It'll be at your door probably next day if you want it to be, and it's cheaper, and it's almost makes it then throwaway. I could wear that for one party and then I could not have to look at it again. Whereas if I pay into this designer, and I think a lot of people when they're shopping, they don't realise there's somebody behind that screen, because we're so tapped into, you can look on ASOS, there's 8,000 pieces. Am I going to think that there's actually a human behind that who's designed that pair of shorts? No, but when you go to an independent store, there is somebody sat there who has spent years trying to make this stuff happen.
No, guys, literally, I feel like that is such a good example, because you see, I'm going to use the Yeezy foam runners. When they came out, they sold out, and I went everywhere to go get the beige coloured ones. Found them, paid stupid amount of money. 2 weeks later, my mum comes back from some market with 2 pairs of foam runners that literally look, She was like, I don't know why you paid so much for that. Look at these 2 that I bought for £20. And you know, the idea of it is like, she didn't understand, I'm not going to just go to find, because I want the Yeezys. I want to pay homage to the fact that Kanye created them. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And get them whichever way I can. Do you know what I mean? In that sense of not buying a fake or replica. And that's my dedication to my craft as fashion. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, but when you see the oversaturation, my mum, who doesn't see that value, doesn't understand that that's the... Obviously, she doesn't need to. She doesn't even care. But like, in the sense of, imagine that being someone else who isn't understanding of of fashion and still goes out of their way to go buy a knockdown version. It just kind of even makes me feel a way. I'm wearing it and then they're wearing it, and I'm like, I actually paid somewhat to Kanye. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You know, because this is his design. But the fact that it can be replicated almost to the T somewhere else, and people just buying it for, when I say less than a quarter of a like nothing, peanuts. It is like, it can feel disheartening sometimes, you know, as as a consumer for the designer.
So you feel like the modern consumer, I feel like we've taken it from back in the day where you'd have your stands, like in Dagenham Market, where you'd get your, do you know what I'm saying? You'd get your fake designer from there, or like your replicas from there, or if you go to Dalston Market, but now it's now evolved into online. So with that being said, like, where would you say, like, what impact do you think that this will have in fashion in the long term? Because we've moved from the markets to online.
To
where we going now?
Online.
It's gonna implode though. Like, it's gonna have to implode. I mean, there's word that like ASOS don't entirely rip off designs as much as others. I think more they actually take silhouettes, and that was what I used to wear as a kid. It'd be like, actually, amount of like beige and like kind of like I couldn't afford trap stars, but I'd wear like these like beige outfits or like colour block, which was all from like the Yeezy designs. But like ASOS is a massive conglomerate, big design, like big house. It's constantly going into liquidation. Now I think that's quite a big thing. a brand like that where you could get anything and everything.
Wait,
that's
so
the
they are
point.
going into liquidation.
Currently, they're going into liquidation.
Wait,
Wow.
who said that one more time, sorry? Who?
It's at ASOS.
ASOS.
What?
I know.
Yeah. So hello.
What?
What?
So currently, it's going into liquidation.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Because I need ASOS.
I need
Now-
what?
So I don't know
More-
what.
more
Now
than
here's the
needed.
thing, right? If these brands like this,
Yeah.
let's say, you know, they go into liquidation. So let's say they stop now. Like, I
That's
think that's what happens. Everything implodes because, like, what happens then is you get people can't afford the stuff that they might want to get,
Yeah.
right? We halt on all this production
Mm.
from selling it, but that doesn't mean that, like, all the stock that's already been there is suddenly miraculously disappeared. It's stuck there in these warehouses.
That's when they're gonna do these big £1 sales
Okay,
and
so
whatnot.
obviously with that being said, with it being stuck in warehouses in that scenario, yeah, whose responsibility would you say it then like falls down to be, I'll say environmentally aware, or like, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word that everyone uses now.
What, conscious?
Nah, it's got to do with the environment. Sustainable.
There we go.
Sustainability.
Oh my God. Even through the sunny sunny eyes, go sustainable.
Sustainable. Sustainability, yeah. So
Yeah.
whose responsibility is it to be sustainable?
Theirs.
Is it left for the company or the consumer?
Do you know what actually they can do from it, and what companies are doing now, and what people are stepping up to the mark to do is it would be the company.
Yeah.
The company
Most definitely.
give this fabric away, okay, to these brands right now who are using it for offcuts of fabric, making new garments out of it, taking just these sitting products, these
Yeah.
waste materials, turn them into products where people can wear them, buy them. People who become now, because there's a constant dialogue around it, people are becoming more aware. They're wanting to invest more, and that is that crossover. I think that is the only way you take the stock and put it in something better.
Yeah.
Because if you suddenly then go, we're going to do a £1 sale, having a £1 sale, okay, it means people can get clothes for £1, but it also means people are going to throw them away because it means nothing.
Yeah.
It means £1. Like, £1 is... You can't even get sweets for £1 anymore.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like,
It's crazy.
do you know what I mean? That's what worth is that to you?
Yeah, it's true.
McFlurry's not a pound no more. McFlurry's not a pound anymore. I thought I'd just
does
chuck that in.
McFlurry's
I
not
thought I'd
true.
chuck it in.
I mean,
Fries
fries aren't a pound
Fries
anymore.
aren't even a pound anymore. You get
Guys,
kid fries.
Like
for
a
pound.
99, you know, the 99 ice cream?
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
99p.
That- it's not 99p.
It's not 99p.
It's
Best believe.
gone up.
It's not even. Remember, there used to be 50p
Yeah.
ice cream if you didn't get the flake.
That's
Now,
funny.
there ain't
Now
no
it's
50p.
just longer. I just think the fashion industry,
Yeah.
kind of, the fast fashion industry is going to implode on itself because it's just running too fast. It can't keep up. It's not able to, but also there is a constant demand, and this back and forth is going to have to kind of crash and burn. Like, I
Yeah.
don't
think-
see
Gonna
how
have
it
to
can
come to
stop
an
I
it
end.
think one
easily.
way that we could, like, let's say, help solve that is by more, I'll say, more up and coming creative directors actually working with these fast fashion houses and not seeing it as something taken away from their brand, but them adding to already someone with a big name. Do you get what I'm saying? So, for example, Luigi done a collaboration with Zara recently, and not a lot of people might have known about Luigi before then, but the pieces that he was able to come up with were really good, really nice, and people think at this price point it's crazy. So if more people want to get their names out there, they could. That's one way of solving that.
Yeah.
Another way is also, I'll say, these companies as well, if they could start like a fund or like a charity where all the excess of the garments or like the fabrics, that's a key word today, fabrics, sustainability fabrics, so they could literally donate it to a lot of, like, let's say, fashion colleges, universities,
Definitely.
like
Independent
not just
designers,
yeah,
like-
do you get what I'm saying, all
Honestly,
around the world.
we'd take that fabric.
can
Like,
imagine.
it would, like, it's so expensive to have rolls of fabric. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, a meter is like minimum £10. Let alone a meter for denim. A meter for denim is like £13-14 a meter. It's
Yeah.
so expensive. You need at least 2 meters to do jeans. Meter and a half if you go really squeeze it. And like these companies can produce it so cheaply.
Yeah.
So I think you're so right. I think donating all that fabric and working with designers, like I saw Cos, do a
Yeah.
collab with Reese Yaboa.
Yes, yes.
And I mean,
yes.
then suddenly people start to be like, actually, hold on a minute, Reese Yaboa, looking into him, and then be like, this is really sick. He's really been able to elevate his
Exactly.
brand and get a massive brand behind him to do this collaboration. I think what's next then is having small scale collaborations, like being like,
Yeah.
let's cut the quantity, or if you've got excess fabric on the rolls of fabric, let's donate that to X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
university, college, independent designer, and that's
Your way
where
of
we
helping
kind of
the planet.
heal it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Helping the planet.
And then buying fast fashion, you won't feel as guilty anymore because you know it's
Yeah.
going to a better cause. You know what I'm saying? Almost like how, remember back in the day we had the fair trade bananas,
Oh my god.
Yes.
and then you'd buy that, and
I
then you'd feel
remember.
like you're helping the world.
Yeah.
You feel like a superhero, innit?
Yeah.
Cool. Is this
Yeah,
age?
yeah, yeah.
I swear no,
I ain't heard
seriously,
that in
yeah.
a minute. You know, in school they used to promote that.
Yeah,
all
they used
the
fair
time.
trade. Like,
Where did that
that's
go?
like, are they still on
Did
that?
they exist?
I ain't got a clue.
A banana's not fair
So,
trade anymore.
That's
cost
what
of
I'm
living,
thinking.
cost of living must have
Cheated.
hit it, man. or
No,
something.
cheated.
kids, damn.
What's your take? What's your final take?
Okay, my final take. Do you know what? Fast fashion has been an amazing invention. I say invention, but you know, an amazing thing for all of us, and especially those connected to fashion, being able to kind of build silhouettes, be a part of an identity maybe you thought was far away, for example, and I mean fashion identity. As we're obviously growing further years, I do feel like, yeah, we need to get into our environmental and sustainability bag. We need to start donating. And I know how much it costs, like in terms of like fabrics, like myself making clothes and stuff like that, it is not cheap. So to know that there's rolls of fabric somewhere in some warehouse collecting dust is rude. It's actually like, do you know what I mean? It's rude.
Yeah,
It's
of
almost
course.
just like, come on, like people are out there wanting to make things out of these things, you know, being able to. People want, like, back in the days, people used to turn curtains into dresses. Why turn the curtain when someone can donate you a roll?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
little mindset and stuff like that. So I do feel like, yeah, in order for fast fashion to have that longevity, yeah, I hate that word. You know? I feel like they need to start making people feel like their money is not only going towards something for them, but something for the wider planet. Period.
Queen.
Yeah.
See, I know you like to dibble and dabble in your own creative bag, make your own clothes.
Yeah, I know, y'all get it.
And you know you're the creative director of your own style, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
has there ever been a point in time where you wanted to buy something from a fast fashion website, but your moral compass was just not letting you do it?
You mean in comparison to like buying it off a designer?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, I would definitely say to you, like when I was younger, because of the idea of maybe like not having the money and not having the accessibility to get it from the luxury designer, yeah, I was definitely a lot more inclined because fashion meant a lot to me. It was my expression of myself. So I felt like I wasn't necessarily cheating. I didn't think of the designer at that point because I was fueling myself, you know, trying to grow myself into the person I wanted to be through fashion. So now as I've grown older and I understand the designer and even myself, the amount of time and effort and attention it takes to create a piece, I definitely am less inclined to buy a copy of fast fashion. I like silhouettes, so for example, I'll definitely go for a similar silhouette, but if I see that it's like trying to basically be the exact same thing, I'd rather not, me personally. And it's just not because then I don't get to execute the style that I want, but I see it more as a, when I can pour money into the designer, the piece is worth it more, you know? So I've now come to that kind of reasoning in my head, whereas I know that I can kind of still create the same outfit in the same silhouette without necessarily saying I'm copying somebody else's piece.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think
No,
about it?
I
I
definitely
mean,
agree with that.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
I'll let you land.
I suppose, like, is there an age where you should either stop shopping fast fashion or whittle it down, like slow it down, where
I
you
know,
start to shop
I
like
know.
one piece a year?
Wow.
What? Listen,
One.
That's a mundane lifestyle.
That's what-
I don't live
Really?
that life. I
Okay,
don't live
so
that-
Where do you get your basics from then?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Do you get it like, I can't be buying a vest from Dior every time I need a vest.
Yeah.
Do you get
I'll
charity
go get it
shop?
from a Primark. I
Charity
can't lie.
shop.
charity shop,
You can go to Asda.
charity
Yeah, okay,
shop.
fair
Go to
enough.
George or something.
But
Charity
that's fast.
shop.
Would you say that's fast fashion?
No, it's a supermarket.
Mm.
I mean, it'll be made.
can
Will it be
order it
made the same
online.
way? The thing is you can find basics. I think in charity shops, and I feel like actually like when you get out of your teens, is when you start to reevaluate. You know, if you're gonna shop, like how much time am I pouring into scrolling on fast fashion? How much time am I scrolling into vintage, you know, like used clothes or whatever? Like, how much time am I spending into maybe trying to make a piece or find somebody who I know could make a piece? And I think the older you get, you should like change those amounts. And I think you should keep trying to lower the level of fast fashion that you even just consume of your time. And that's why I think there's an age where you start to really slow down.
I mean,
I'd say, okay, cool, like, there would be an average age where I'll say people won't be as expressive with their clothing as they were once they were younger. I'll say that, but I won't say that there's a cap on when you can obviously start getting pieces from fast fashion websites, because some of those pieces can be very basic. Like, you can even get like a 4-pack t-shirt, for like
ASOS
£7 from ASOS, and that's essential, and it's cheap, and it's not anything too loud. So I'll say it's more about the type of clothing items that you do get rather than the actual website itself. And on top of that, I'll say there's no capping age on how you want to express yourself.
Definitely.
If you're the type of person that likes to dress loud when you were 17,
you'll be 70.
are you still gonna want to dress loud
But
at
that
like
doesn't
50,
mean you
get
have
what
to
I'm
be
saying?
but that doesn't mean you have to like you can still be fashionable at 70 and not shop fast fashion. You can still be loud and at 40 and not shop fast fashion. You can still be 20 and loud and not shop fast fashion. I don't think fast fashion entitles you to be expressive or loud in those ways. Like I think it can be a tool for you to get pieces that you can't get. But at the same time, like...
But do you not ever think about excess? Like, okay, you said, like, you can be 20, you can be 17, you can be 70.
Yeah.
But then at the same point, well, okay, so we have to think about, why is fast fashion actually a good thing? For people who cannot afford it. For people who cannot have the accessibility to get these luxury pieces. So whether they're 20, 17 or 70, what if they're still at that point where they cannot afford it? And they can't get these luxury. This is where I say, like, if you put an age on it, then you're almost putting a pressure on it too, that you need to be able to afford luxury pieces and let go of fast fashion. Whereas,
but does everyone's wardrobe, is it all dupes of like luxury pieces?
No,
it's
but then
not.
I think
it's
that's
like
what
it's things you can get from everywhere,
I
right?
might need to reword the question a little bit. Is it there's a age gap, or I mean, there's a cap on the age where you can get like replicas.
That's my point. That's
rather
different.
than fast fashion itself.
Like basic pieces.
But should you slow down at one point on fast fashion?
Replicas or
Just
the
in
pieces?
I mean, just in general, consuming fast fashion.
So you just even
Like,
mean clicking on ASOS and buying
we're
something?
talking ASOS, Zara, H&M, Weekday. Then we are also talking DHgate and all of the and Wish.
Yeah, no, that's
Like,
that's
But like they come under that
Sorry, that's
umbrella,
so
I
funny.
suppose. So I'm saying, like, should we not be? Should the older you get, the slower you shop
Well,
on those? Should you be
but-
getting one piece a year from this fast fashion piece, and the rest of your wardrobe comes from other places?
But when you say other places aside from fast fashion, is that not the opposite? Is luxury?
No.
So where would you?
Charity shops, vintage,
What?
make your own.
That's what I'm saying. That's what you guys. But that's still
What?
like. You didn't know, because you have to think not everybody's, because you're thinking more like in terms of, okay, cool, charity shops and that are all great for people who thrift, for people who go to
But
charity
then there's
shops.
vintage where you search for it. That's the point. That's why these apps exist. That's why Depop exists.
But then,
but
then
do
those are
you
used
think,
goods. What if someone wants something new, but they don't want to pay a luxury price, but they just want to say, like Dami said, the 3-pack of t-shirts, yeah? Would you tell someone to go on Vinted to go look for someone else's t-shirt and times 3? Do you get it? Like, it's just that kind of mentality of like, I know you're trying to reduce it, but at the same time, I'm not trying to look for someone's t-shirt every time I
Like
want
at
to
the same
buy
time,
one.
are you gonna need 3 t-shirts?
Why?
Yeah.
But that's
that's-
economizing my wardrobe. I don't have to go buy
Well,
another
no,
one
but
every
it's
time.
talking about consumering. It's talking about consumption. Do you need 3 of the same cut of the same style of t-shirt
'cause when it
today?
gets- yeah.
Do you need that today?
Yeah.
Because what
What,
if it's
you
a
gonna
white
wear 3
t-shirt?
today?
Yeah, what if it's a white tee
But
and
then I
then I
don't
spill
have to buy
something
an-
on it,
Yeah.
and then I need it like next day another one, so I call.
Why don't you wash it? Get a stain remover. That's
Why would
this
I
is
do
the
that when I
point,
can get
but-
free
Nah.
t-shirts?
But this is the point of overconsumption. This
I
is
can
this is
literally get free
why.
I'm
t-shirt.
starting to feel guilty.
I
Talking
swear.
to because
I
if you know what I
swear.
do with white socks, you would hate me.
What do
That's
you do with
another
white
one.
socks?
I know it's so okay,
Don't
guys.
tell me you wear
Okay, no,
once
wait. Let
and
me
throw
tell
away.
you. No, guys, I have a problem, and I know everyone's gonna gun me. Everyone's gonna come for me. I'm
Do you
ready
actually wear
for
it
it.
once and throw it away?
I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
wear white socks twice.
I'm sorry, I
What?
can't condone
I
that
know.
kind of
I
behavior.
know, I
don't
condone it
God.
either. It's so bad, guys. White socks just don't look white to me anymore once they're washed. Don't get me wrong. When I was younger, I used to do it, firm it, yeah, hear it. But now,
Oh my God, so
I have. If I take off my shoes, my socks are spanking white. Don't play with it. Like, do you know? I'm being serious. It's a problem.
no way.
But it's the only thing. Only thing. Everything else, I'm very like. I'll wash the t-shirt. I'll wash it. Do you get it? But when it comes, I don't know.
White socks though.
I don't know.
Do you know, with me,
It's just a personal thing.
I've got white socks on right now. I'm gonna be so real, and obviously, like, they're not white,
No, don't me.
but you can see that they've got, you know,
Wear
I'll
and
say
tear.
they've got experience.
Wear and tear.
They've got
That's what I'm.
experience. Look, they've got experience.
got
They've got wear and
experience
tear.
in what?
They've got experience.
No, I'm sorry. He said the socks have
That's what it is, they have
experience. Yeah,
experience.
that you see.
They've been through shit.
I know
they've seen
Ricardo's
some
gonna
real
hate
life
me
stuff.
for the next
I-
couple episodes.
Oh
I know,
my God.
I know it's a problem that I'm really trying. Rehab. I'm joking.
It's so funny rehab.
Like, it's a problem.
Oh my God.
I know, guys. Don't hate me. in
I'm
the
not,
comments.
because this is also the thing though. When it comes to this whole like, if it's fast fashion, if it's not fast fashion, if it's charity shop, if it's not charity shop, there's just such a fat load of hate on it,
Yeah.
one way or the other. And it's like, as we were saying, it's such a complex issue. There's so many sides to it. But then you also you could just throw in more arguments into
Yeah,
this
of
fast fashion
course.
that you could talk about overconsumption. You could talk about this. You could talk about that. And it's like, I don't actually know. I don't have a full idea that's actually just like, I
Yeah.
think that in that one way.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got another question for you, yeah, because I've been wanting to ask this question for a long time. So, is there an age here, because it's all my age now, innit? Is there an age where you can't really wear streetwear like that? Is there a cap on
Streetwear?
that? Yeah, like, is there a cap?
Streetwear's
I
just
think-
like a style of clothing.
No, but I think it depends. That's what
Yeah,
I was just
but
gonna
that
say.
style though, like, going into that style as a 65-year-old,
No.
can you
You're
wear
cool
like
as
No,
that?
sorry.
fuck.
Did anyone just see Tiana Taylor's grandparents that she
Yeah.
just put?
But like,
They
hold on, are we
are-
putting a cap on styles?
No, but I think he means it more in the sense of like, say for example, a 60-year-old wearing the same outfit as a 16-year-old.
Yeah, because
You
a
know,
lot
that
of people,
kind of mentality of streetwear.
Fashion's fashion.
but a lot of people put streetwear with youth culture.
I know they do.
To just put in that box youth culture. That's
Yeah,
it.
but then
But
You know
have
what
you
I'm
seen some
saying?
streetwear that's actually like smart casual? Some like there's some like I want to say I don't want to use this word. There's like an audience, a particular kind of group, an audience on Instagram like influencers where their streetwear is more like tailored, like
Oh
smart
yeah,
no,
casual,
yeah,
but they still
yeah,
wear the
yeah,
trainers and
yeah.
but they've got more of the shackets on and I feel like that's more of a grown streetwear.
But even
Okay.
just
Yeah,
like,
if you get what I'm trying to say.
you know, okay, CP company, right?
Yeah.
Something that's quite aligned with like streetwear, like teens will wear it and stuff, like tracksuits, like 20. I don't know that thing. Yeah, but in Italy, CP company is worn as suits to go to business.
Swear.
People who are earning like six figures wear a CP company suit because it's an Italian brand, and that's what it's like a tailoring brand in Italy. It's a street youth brand in
But that's
the UK.
But that's also because the brand tailored to other. If you get what
Climates,
I'm
I
trying to
suppose,
say,
but that
yeah.
doesn't cap out, I think, who can wear a piece of clothing.
No, of
that's
course,
why I
definitely.
think. That's why I think like style is always evolving. But like right now, there's like fucking 10 styles going around the UK all at once that
Yeah,
are really
Mhm.
popular because
Yeah.
everyone's trying to just now start to like flow into what they want and then see where they can find it. You know, people are ashamed of doing fast fashion hauls now.
Yeah,
You
I
think?
never agree with
Yeah,
it anyway.
it's
Get
in the
I
rid
day.
of
wouldn't. I
these.
wouldn't. Yeah, but like you
Listen,
mean
I'm
like
still
ASOS
not a
halls,
fan.
In the
BLT
day now,
halls.
no one wants to watch somebody spend £500 on ASOS. Don't want to see it. Because I'm not gonna lie, are you gonna wear that £500 for the next like 4 years? If not,
A lot of them just send it straight back. That's
That's
why
the
they
thing.
put a new policy on like the returns.
Yeah, but that's just embarrassing. Like, just
Yeah.
just why don't you just be real?
I
Be
know.
fucking for real.
BFF.
Do you get what I
as
mean?
my bestie
Like-
likes to say.
I think what I'd like to see is people reworking their
Outfits.
wardrobes more, and literally what they've already got in there. And then if they want a new piece, literally just cut and sew it and just make
Slowing
a new
it
one.
down.
No, but
once
that's
in a while.
but that's where I feel like I've gotten to. So like I used to be the person that was on ASOS like every night.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would be buying something. It's kind of like people with Amazon. I found there's some people like there's a group of people I've seen them on TikTok. They're like the Amazon whores. And they just order from Amazon all the time. I don't know what it is that they need, but they've always like my neighbor's one of them. Every day there's a package from Amazon, and I always think to myself, what are you buying? Like, what do you need? So I've tried to kind of slow down in terms of I don't buy unnecessarily. If I need something, I'll look for something. that's my way of slowing down. Do you know?
Your-
Because I used to like.
Your
every
goal
night.
is to wear a pair of socks twice. That's all it's at, okay? That's all
Y'all
it's
gonna have
at.
to beat my ass. No, I'm joking. I'm
As-
joking.
As you
So
can
you're
see,
I know
part of the
it's
people
so-
cleaning the planet, man.
this
No.
Facts. Facts.
guys, this
This
conversation
band
is
is the
deep.
fast fashion
It's
people.
Okay.
loaded. It's
Tea for
loaded.
time out.
We
I'm
need to.
out. I'm
we're
out
on the
here.
same page, and now we're not on the same page.
That's so rude.
Listen, comment below if you agree
Yeah.
in just literally continuously changing your white pair of socks and just throwing them away after wearing it one time.
I didn't
Please
say
let
you
us
should.
know
I
in the
didn't say I
comments.
throw them away. They just become dependent on the dependent.
I can't.
The
It
only way you can
depends.
redeem this year.
No, but they become house socks. You will not catch me outside of them.
Okay, fair enough. You didn't say that first, innit?
No,
Yeah.
you just said you
Yeah,
were
I did.
out.
Yeah, no,
One
don't get me
pair.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. It
Shit.
depends. Like, there's only a few that are house socks, but mainly house socks are black. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. It's the most loaded subject I think
will
we've
never
ever
want to
spoke
talk about this again.
So
Never want to
Let's-
talk about this again.
just move to our non-loaded topic, which is Spotlight of the Week.
Let's go.
Ew, ew. Jesus.